Earnestly podcast here. My buddy Cliff Connor. Has been about 4 years with the podcast, right? 3-4 years. How long has it been?
Around that time.
And this is gonna be kind of cool. We're actually watching the Dodgers and the Mets, the game 2 of the series. Top of the ninth, Edwin Diaz is on the mound. 2-1 Mets. We're gonna obviously this is a recorded podcast, but we're actually watching the game in real time as we're actually recording this. So yeah. Now you did say to me as we logged on here, that I'm what 30 seconds ahead of you?
I said you said what?
I'm 30 seconds ahead of you? 30 seconds.
Yeah, you're about 30 seconds ahead of me.
Has Diaz started pitching yet?
No, right now he's looking in. He just got the sign delivering first pitch.
Okay.
So slider for strike.
So I'm two pitches ahead of you. We're also matching today.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it does happen sometimes that way. Anyway, buddy, what's up, man? How you been? I haven't seen you. Have I seen you during the pandemic? Like, have you been out here since the pandemic started?
I've been down to South Florida. I have not been to Kennel Club. He is just so fucking nasty.
He is.
Yeah, I have not been. No, I haven't.
Okay.
Seen
I haven't seen. I've seen you more on Twitter. See more.
I live on Twitter during Mets games.
I know you do. You're just as bad as I am with the Heat. This is bad.
You know what?
Man.
It's like 3.5 hours of your day that takes you away from your day.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely, it's the best. It's some of the best escapism somebody's gonna find. You know. So like I know many people who are Mets fans. I have many friends who are Mets fans. I don't know if there's one bigger than you. Honestly, and I really mean that. Because I know a lot of people who are dedicated Met fans, you know, but I think if I did like a power rankings or Mount Rushmore of Met fans I know through my lifetime, you're definitely the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Mets games.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, there was one year, I think I was counting innings. It was in like the 80s. I might have missed.
Mm-hmm.
That's like unhealthy, kind of. Not really, but you know what I mean.
Right.
I don't know. It's a hobby, man. I love it. I enjoy it.
So this has been a fun year. A really fun season. It kind of has like
That's
2015.
two.
That's two, yeah. That's two. Pretty
It's
quick.
two.
Make it short and easy, Diaz. Let's go.
Come on, one fucking more. It's a DeGrom start. They fucking don't. Nimmo with the fucking catch of the year. Like, do not lose this game. One more out.
Didn't you?
Anyway.
I think the year they traded for Diaz when they had it was the Cano deal with Seattle.
That was the last time I was on the podcast.
Yes, correct. And I remember you saying that the Diaz pick, the Diaz part of it is going to be the big kicker, not Cano.
I honestly, there are parts of that are true and parts that aren't. So I honestly went back to like a year ago. Okay. To like a year ago and listened to that one, or maybe it was a little longer. And parts of what I was saying came true and parts didn't come true. But I did say, it's a nice little pick.
Yes, it was.
Let's fucking go.
Game over, buddy.
Let's go. Nobody's gaining any ground tonight. Braves fans, sorry.
Good. Thank God for Colorado last night. I know is it still 2-0 Atlanta?
I think it's 3. Going back to that podcast, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't mind the addition of Cano back then.
No, I didn't either.
But to me, it was a lot of money. But to me, the Diaz, like the whole Diaz leading the American League in saves and being like filthy shutdown, like that just showed me you don't find guys like that anywhere, bro. So like he was a fucking stud to me. So when he was struggling and people were booing him, like, what are you doing? It's like when they did it with Lindor. This guy is electric. Oddly enough, like Miguel Castro is a guy that I think like had such good stuff, and that trade pissed me off so much. But anyhow, so what do you have another topic?
No. But no. I remember thinking about that, and I think that obviously we saw kind of like the beginning to the end of Familia, obviously is the closer, but I remember back then, and I remember saying, getting kind of excited about, we have another closer, so it's gonna be pretty cool. Never I thought he'd be this dominant. I didn't think it was this good. I didn't think it was this good. Like he had a
Yeah,
rough first year there in New York, and then figured it out.
yeah, the pandemic year was a little better, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then it's like, boom, and now all of a sudden. So if you were to look back, like if you were to even like go watch tape, and it might be a little bit different of a guy, but if you were to go back to that year where he had what it was like 52, it was something ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't even, maybe more than that, saves. He was just fucking lights out. And that's what he's been doing this year. Like tonight, did he even have a strikeout there?
Diaz,
That was
the
so
first one is correct.
fast. Yeah, that's right.
Diaz has struck out first. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, boom.
Yeah,
And
that's right. It was so fast.
that's all
So,
grounders.
but he's like striking out like 30 or like 52%. Maybe it's down a little now of his batters.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. It's crazy. Like he needs to be at least in like Cy Young considerations, I guess you should say.
Right.
I mean, like he's not going to win it by any means, but like
He's not a starter. That's
his
why.
name needs to be on it. Yeah, I know, but his name needs to be up there. Be like, he might get some votes, but
Yeah. Yeah. So like this season, like it kind of has like 2015 vibes to it a little bit. A little bit. You agree with that?
Yeah, with the exception that they didn't go after like a bigger bat, which to me was all right.
Yeah.
In a way, I like the way they like filled the gaps. I
kinda
like the
agree
way
with
the
that.
guy started because like the whole so Canna's a little older. He's
Mhm.
red hot right now, so like he's
He's
just
on
got to
fire. He's saved like a
Yeah.
couple games for us the last couple weeks too.
Yeah, like when have they had that? So what have the Mets been lacking for years now? What is the one thing that they haven't been able to do? Like
You asking
like
me that? Or you saying?
I'm just saying like what do you think is like the top thing they haven't been able to do overall?
I mean, bats is the one issue. And I'm concerned still about, and this is the problem that goes back even to Yohan Santana years, when during his starts, when our top two guys are on the mound, and all they need is a few runs. They don't need a lot of they don't need a lot of space. Just give them 3, 4 runs tops. You're good. And
Exactly.
DeGrom ain't
That's
getting
what
that
I'm saying.
now. Look tonight. They won tonight 2-1. But
2
again,
to 1.
you're playing the Dodgers. I mean, you're lucky DeGrom was dominant, but that can go either way. You need some
So
insurance there.
so the whole thing. The only reason I say that is they have lacked the clutch hit, and what
Right.
has he brought? The clutch hit. So like
Mhm.
the platoon when so I have a buddy who's a really big Guardians fan, so Cleveland fan,
I'm still getting
and
used to that, by the way.
yeah, me too. So
Guardians.
I almost said whatever. So and I'm like, bro, I go, so is Tyler Naquin as streaky as what I'm seeing right now?
Mhm.
And he's like, oh, dude, he's extremely streaky. I'm like, it's like 8 strikeouts in a row streaky. He's like, not that bad. He's like, he'll come around. When he does, he will. Okay, so that makes me feel a little better. When the Mets had Beatty to be another left-handed bat, he looked pretty good. You know, even some of his outs were hit hard.
Right.
Vogelback was like a really good pickup, but when he's like nursing a hamstring, that doesn't just affect his running. So that concerns, like their offense is concerning a little bit, but
Yeah.
the most concerning part to me, aside from Diaz, is their
No relief.
bullpen, the bridge, just bridging the game to him.
Right.
Really.
Get
Just
going from the starter.
get the game to Edwin Diaz when it's either tied and you know you're on the road or you're at home, or
Mhm.
you know just get the game tied or be up and get him in when he's supposed to be, whether or not you're at
Right.
home, on the road, whatever that situation calls for. Do that. Get
And I'll be
there.
honest with you. I'm actually pretty fired up about number 3 and 4 guys. I think Bassett's good. I think Walker's been pretty good as well too. I think Peterson's been pretty good also. Like we talk about DeGrom and Max, obviously, and then those guys are dependable. But I think 3, 4, and 5 have been really good this year for us too as well.
So Scherzer's had a little regression
A
in
little
the
bit.
last couple of starts. I don't know how to really. I have to watch that a little more, but I think when push comes to shove, like just his like him will push him through that because
Yeah, he'll
he's just
figure
a
it out.
bulldog. But like
Yeah.
Bassett has really, really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally gets hit hard. But he's also one of those guys that, like, when he's got his bad stuff, he's still fighting to try to keep him in the game. He's been super impressive.
Right.
Walker, I worry about his innings count. Same as Carrasco. So when both of them went down, as much as it sucked, it kind of helps a little bit when you
Mm-hmm.
look at it that way. Both of them have been really good. Walker, when he's on, like in that splitter, is good. He's
Mm-hmm.
really fucking nasty. And
Right.
Peterson, yeah, for sure. McGill was great too. I think McGill is the guy you look at when he comes back to maybe fill a gap in the bullpen and see
Yeah.
what happens because he throws hard enough. He's got like sharp breaking stuff. I don't know. I don't think Peterson's a guy for the bullpen, and a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
I think you slot start him and go after this series. They really don't have much until the Braves. I mean, they do. I think have the Brewers, but
Maybe
they don't have much until the Braves.
the schedule
So like
gets cut a little easier.
you might be able to, I mean, and they have another, wait, do they have another day off after this series or they just have it off before? Either way, you might be able to slot Peterson in and give guys an extra day because remember, they're not young
Right.
either. So, yeah, I mean, they got options, but they've all been really good. I mean, think about what McGill did at the beginning of the year. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. This is a so they got no day off. They got the Dodgers tomorrow night too. Well, tomorrow afternoon actually. Washington for a 3-game set. Atlanta next weekend for a big one.
Pittsburgh, wait,
No, 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 no,
Atlanta's
no, no,
not,
no, no, no,
no,
no, no. I'm sorry. No,
Atlanta's
I'm
the
sorry. I'm sorry.
final week or two
Pittsburgh.
weekends before.
No, I'm sorry. Atlanta's the final series. I apologize. So you got Washington, Pittsburgh, Miami, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Oakland, the Marlins, and then the Braves to end it, and then Washington to end it. So it's a
So
fairly
it's the most. They have the. I think it was the second most favorable schedule
in
in
baseball.
baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but so you know who scares me the most there? They're the Marlins
Of course,
because
they're a great
they
spoiler.
can. No, they can pitch. The
Yeah,
Mets haven't hit.
off
If
the
the
top. Yeah,
matchups don't go right, it might not work out. Like, don't get me wrong, the Mets should be beating up on the Marlins, but when the Marlins, especially when they throw Alcantara or whatever you want to,
yeah.
he's the
He's
Cy
amazing.
Young. He's a Cy Young this year. He's going to win it. If he
Yeah,
doesn't, it's highway robbery.
right.
But they've got a lot of arms that can shut you down, and then all of a sudden, even no, they think they just released Jesus Aguilar actually.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, John Birdie gets a single, steals two bases. Brian Anderson hits his random 7th home run or 11th home run of the year. You're down 2-0 in the 7th inning, and you're like, what is going on? That's the type of game I fear when you're not when you're nursing a smaller lead.
Mm-hmm.
If they can win tomorrow night and then go into that stretch and win, let's say, let's just go 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Braves really going to keep this pace that they're on? Is it
I mean, they're
sustainable?
amazing. I mean, they're amazing. And I think it speaks well to the Mets
Give me
too that
one
they've
second.
been able to hold them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
They're like, the thing is, last night, the Mets lose that game, but they lose the game in the first inning. To me,
Yeah,
they have first and third, nobody out. They've already scored a run. They don't
right.
score a run.
They can put more runs, right? Exactly.
That's a game. That's a night where they could have picked a game up,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of, in a way, slipped away. Anyway, they're different. They're built different. And they're like, if everybody stays healthy, they are all right. And if Escobar can, like, he's struggling from the left-handed side of the plate, so if he can
Right.
just like figure out a little bit over there, they just have to find out how to score runs against left-handed pitching. I don't know what
So
else
I
to say.
so I ask you this, and let's be real here, because I still have doubts about if this team can go to the World Series. Now, can they go? Absolutely can go to the World Series. Let's be real. I mean, they're a really good team. But if you're asking me, like, what is your World Series looking like this year? I'm still going Dodgers, and I'm going Astros in the American League. where are you at on the overall spectrum of Major League Baseball? The Mets, are they going to World Series in your eyes, or are the Dodgers too good, or the Braves too hot? And
The Mets have had success against the Dodgers in
they have,
postseasons,
yeah,
um, and pitching wins. So there's two sides to that coin, and most of the time pitching wins. I shouldn't say all the time.
right,
Two sides of the coin. When you go in there and you've got the best starting pitching in
yeah,
baseball, and your top two guys are DeGrom and Scherzer,
right,
and they go in there and they dominate for 7 innings, but you face two other high-profile names. Problem is like, who is it? Kershaw, who can be great, still is great, getting
in
older. Who
moments,
knows what he's going to do in the playoffs? Who knows if he's going to stay healthy? Same goes for Mets pitching, who they're going to stay healthy or not either, right?
yeah,
But it all comes down to the bullpen. So, like, when you get into the seventh and eighth inning, those 2 innings specifically for me, and the end of the sixth, because sometimes pitchers have a hard time getting through that aren't your, like, DeGroms and Scherzers or, Max Fried's over there in Atlanta or whoever, Wheeler, you name it, that's going to be in the playoffs. So,
right,
for me, it really looks like they need to. There's two things they need. They need to hit left-handed pitching. If they win this series and they face three lefties and even they don't score a lot of runs. They win the series and they do it behind pitching and defense. Like
mm-hmm.
you know, it leads me to believe that I think their best pitchers are more hittable than our best pitchers. So I think they can go to the
Right.
World Series? Yeah. Do I think it's a long road? Of course, man. It's not even just the Dodgers that are scary. Like the Braves are,
Oh God,
no,
you
no
know,
joke.
I'm not a Braves fan, obviously, but I got a lot of respect for that team, though, and how they do their thing,
Me too, but their GM has robbed their entire core blind, aside from Olson, really.
Hmm.
I mean, Albie's signed because of like where it came from and the
Right.
money met,
Hmm.
and it was like what for better, but not better, for a good reason. But he got these guys he just locked them up.
Hmm.
He just locked up a kid. I think he saw play 50 games, 40 games, 30 games. It was not
Right.
couldn't be that many. You locked up Harris. Like, I mean, it's like these guys are going to get paid twice now, which is probably the main selling point.
Hmm.
But they're built now. But they got robbed as far as baseball money goes. In real life,
Right.
they're fucking loaded.
Right.
But they're dangerous, man. Um, so it's not just the Mets,
And
Dodgers.
maybe, and I guess St. Louis is kind of in the mix too. Like St. Louis has always been dangerous, but I
They're
don't think.
always weird, man.
Yeah.
They're always weird, and you don't know what to expect from them. And their starting pitching is like not anything you like look at and you're like, oh my lord, no way. But dude, I watched Wainwright the other night,
Right.
and that
I did too.
man just knows. Like, I don't know if you heard him mic'd up before the game. That was
I heard
really
about that though.
cool.
I heard
It
about
was
that. Yeah.
really. You should go watch that if you get a chance because it's
Yeah.
really, really cool. It's intriguing. It brings you into a perspective that you're not used to, and then he just goes out and he executes. So like a guy like Wainwright, and then like what Miles Mickelson, it's like
Yeah.
these guys I've seen just come out and shut the Mets down. So they worry me a little bit. I mean,
Hmm.
what team doesn't have a fan base that's realistic, especially people that watch games like we do or I do or you do or whoever
Right.
does real
Yeah.
like religiously,
Right.
that isn't worried about a team every single night.
Hmm.
No matter if it's like the Pirates. I mean, am I worried about
I'm
the
the same way
Pirates? No.
too.
I mean, the Mets were the other night were like 430 favorites. Like they were minus 430, man.
Hmm.
Like squeaking away with shit, like losing when they were like, I don't even know, like big favorites. Like that's why you worry, man, because anything can happen. You can hang the best pitcher in the game can hang two sliders, and the next thing you know, it's 3-0 because somebody just blooped one, and all of a sudden you're like battling uphill, which is one thing they have actually done really well all year, and so that's another thing that's different than the past.
Right. Right. I want to talk to you about Jacob DeGrom because he is or could be a free agent by the end of this year. Lots of rumors about him, whether he wants to stay in New York. I've heard stuff about him wanting to possibly play down south. That could mean Atlanta. That could be Miami. I doubt Miami, but I don't know. But do you think he's here beyond 2022? And do you think they should overpay for him if it comes to that? Because I the more I watch him pitch, I'm like, you can't get rid of this guy. No, you
So
just can't. He's
so
the best
here's
pitcher in baseball.
so here's the thing. I'll go into it more after, but the answers are
Okay.
yes and yes.
Yeah.
It's like a no-brainer. So
Right.
think of the backlash that would occur if Steve Cohen didn't re-sign Jacob DeGrom when he opts out, because he will.
Well, opt out. Yes.
Okay, so the backlash is one. Two, like, there's rumblings like he'd rather play south and things like that, but he's not. Miami just not happening.
No.
They don't pay money. The Braves are going to be the team that we'll give him whatever he wants. There is no way, if he's got any loyalty, which I feel like he does.
Right.
He's a DeLand, Florida kid, right?
I think so. I think
He
so.
is. He's from
Okay.
DeLand. Like
Okay.
I remember being at games in Miami and getting like the club seats and being in like the little bar that's near the clubhouse, and him and his like brother and father, whomever it was, and his girl, they all were just walking directly by me after he had a start. And it was actually one of, like, I don't know if you remember, but his poorest starts back then sometimes would be in Miami, and his bad starts were like 6 innings, 3 runs. Like,
Right.
it was terrible, right? And I've also gone there and seen him do other crazy shit and do great. But anyhow, I'm trying to think what makes the most, I'm trying to think of what makes the most sense. I can't really think of what makes the most sense here, but
The most sense is the Mets, obviously, but it all depends about is he one of those that prioritizes money? Would money be the thing that ultimately says, okay, fine, I'll do it because I'm getting paid X amount of dollars, or does he value lifestyle?
I think he's too deep in his career to be like, oh, my lifestyle means more to me. Remember, he's an older pitcher. He was drafted as a shortstop. So he doesn't have as many innings on his arm, but he's still getting there.
Right.
So you can't be like, oh, dude, you're close to retirement, semi-close. You can live your lifestyle then. He can do whatever he wants. I just don't see, with any loyalty, he's not. Steve Cohen's not getting outbid, and that doesn't mean shit either, in my opinion, because you can go right into Nimmo as a free agent. He's like super important, and everybody knows that.
And that's another guy that will get paid. And well, the thing is, Nimmo will get paid somewhere, whether it's here or it's elsewhere.
He's going to keep if Cohen's view is to be a contender on a yearly basis, right? And he's got the money to do it, and he can give a fuck about luxury tax.
Yeah.
What does he give a fuck about? 0 luxury tax.
Oh, you don't give a fuck. And if his team's winning, too, on top of that.
Okay.
Especially if the team's winning. Yeah.
So, now down the road in years, if they do have championships, will he like maybe settle down a little bit? Sure. He's going to pay Jacob DeGrom. He's going to back the truck up, as Keith Hernandez says, for Edwin Diaz. And Brandon Nimmo is going to get market value for Brandon Nimmo. He might even take less because he's Brandon Nimmo, although I don't know if he's like that, because I'm pretty sure he's a Boris guy. Either way, none of them can walk. If you think about the Cohen effect, like the luxury tax that's there now is because of him. It also impacts them at the trade deadline, where they know what he can spend, so their asking price for what he's got is now going to be higher. So we're also now seeing that as a result.
Right. So you say he stays?
Jacob DeGrom stays. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're just circling all the way back to DeGrom, I don't think there's any way that he leaves. Like, he's just not getting outbid, right? You
Hmm.
do overpay for him because of who he is. You have Max next year. I think he's got an opt out or it's
Yeah, and opt
mutual. I
out in
can't.
year 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are going to be losing some pitchers, right?
At
Because
some
I'm
point,
pretty
yeah,
sure
you have to.
two. I know you have Bassett another year, but like you're gonna. I think you lose Cookie. Yeah, I'm not. I think Cookie and White Taiwan were 2-year signings. I have to look at that. But you're gaining Miguel and Peterson, so it's not like you're losing a ton. You're
And I
just
feel
not
like
going
And I
to.
feel like too also like the Grom is important because if you brought Max in for the short term, obviously it's a 2-year, maybe a third. We'll see how that plays out. If you lose the Grom, it actually exposes Scherzer now in a way.
Well, it definitely makes him like he's a centerpiece at an older age.
Right.
But you can't if you're thinking about a window, and the window with the Mets and Steve Cohen is it's it can potentially be forever just based on his money, and that's if they get production,
Based
right?
on his core, though, however, you got to figure it's about 2 years, maybe at this
You're
point. Well, maybe
building
less than that now.
you've got McNeil and Alonso. You
Hmm.
have Lindor locked up forever. Okay, now you're like, all right, I need Brandon Nimmo in my outfield so so now I can have my center for another 3 years minimum, and then I'm going to extend Alonso early, right? And
Right.
he's going to get paid.
Yeah. As you
McNeil
should.
McNeil is going to be interesting, but he's got time. So now
Right.
all of a sudden we're like, bing, bing, bing. Where are we? Where are our gaps? Now our gaps are a problem because you have to pay for those also because they don't have any outfield help in the minor leagues. When they got rid of Pete Crow Armstrong in I think that was the Baez deal, right? Um, that was like a panic move. I'm not gonna lie. I liked Javi Baez when he was a Met. I don't.
Hmm.
The thumbs down thing didn't bother me one bit. I think
Right.
he had a lot of flair for the dramatic. I don't like his approach.
I
I
think
liked a
Cohen
lot
when
about him.
I think Cohen sent a message. You
Yeah,
fired
but
the
the
manager
bottom
and you
line,
fired. Yeah.
yeah, the bottom line is they're a corner outfield when Martin and Can are on, which is after next year,
Hmm.
needs upgrading. So that's why, like, when you lock up Nimmo and you lock up Diaz and you overpay for DeGrom, now your next move is getting Alonso locked up. You can wait on McNeil. If you want to let McNeil hit free agency, which he's not a guy I ever want to lose, I think you can get him back,
Yeah. Now he's
right?
batting 315 right now. I mean, he's definitely
Dude, he's third in the league, right? So, like,
yeah.
but we don't have to worry about him for 3 years or whatever that may
Right.
be. I know those years. Alonso tonight played his 500th game or 500th game, right?
Okay.
500, Jesus, 500th game. So, what he's service time wise, what Alonso's 162. I
This is
don't
year 4,
know.
right? This is year 4, Alonso,
It's
right? Year 4.
essentially, yeah. So it's another 3 years of Alonso. I mean,
Yeah.
so you have to like build your core, like you said, your core is big. Like third base isn't a position I'm worried about because so when you do look in the minor leagues, you've got Mauricio, who probably is more of trade bait now, which I like the kid, but he's just got to grow into his body, things like that. But
Right.
Vientos and Beatty are at third base. Now, if Vientos is just going to strictly be a DH, just potentially, Beatty's, both of them have a little bit of, defensive liability. That's the word, but we heard like Michael Conforto couldn't play right field, and that was bullshit from the get go. We heard Brandon Nimmo
Yeah.
couldn't play center field. All of a sudden, he's making plays like he's making tonight. People who said Brandon Nimmo would never be a good center fielder just don't understand the game because they didn't watch the difference between his routes to the ball and when he talked about where how he plays a little deeper, he'll play a little bit more shallow, or depending on things. And then he goes, and they spoke about this on the telecast. Then he goes to somebody that It's going to help him get faster. And he gains a step. So now he's gaining a step. He's getting a better route to the baseball. And then you see plays like you see tonight, which are, I don't care who fucking makes it. I don't care if it's the player least, my least favorite player in baseball that makes that play. I haven't seen one. Somebody mentioned that Adam Engel made a better play earlier or something, or a play up to the. I have to look at it. I haven't seen a better play this year than what I witnessed there. That's all I know.
Yeah, and it was pretty sick. It really was.
You're talking about the core. The core is there. You want to be the core in the middle. You want to close you want to sign your closer. You just have to get these things done, get it over with, and move from there.
Signing closer, protect Max, obviously, which means you keep DeGrom. Obviously, you figure out Alonso down the road. You have Lindor. I get it. I totally get it. I think they have the pieces in place to compete at a top level. But it's just the window. Like right now, the window is 2 years. Maybe extend it to a couple of years if some of these guys on the back end of the staff develop. If Bassett and these guys are guys that we can depend on, that could be a number 2 guy down the road when Max does retire. If he does retire. Although Wainwright is showing you can go in the 40s and still be a top guy.
Right, and he's lost some zip, but so is Max already. But they know how to pitch because they're like veterans and like bulldogs, and they
those guys
go
can
about
figure
it
out
the right way.
Right.
They understand what's going on, man. It's the team's built to win. There's no question. I've seen defensively they're excellent. I've just seen there are days that you watch and you're like, as another buddy has said to me, look double parked. It's like what's going on? Because they make you throw a lot of pitches. Mm-hmm. You're just constantly seeing pitches against the Mets, and then the next thing you know, you're in your bullpen in the 6th inning. That's a problem for other teams. When I see them like changing that, that approach or just not like squaring the ball up, even though they've had their soft hits, but they play against shifts. They hit against shifts. That's another thing that's different. They'll have guys hit the ball the other way. Like, try to shift me. I'll just fucking hit it the other way.
Right. Let's change it up a little bit because if you're watching on YouTube, especially, if you're watching on YouTube, folks, he's wearing a Bills hat, so you can probably guess he's a big Buffalo Bills fan. Hashtag Bills Mafia.
There's some J17 action. We got to describe it this year.
I've been very vocal about. I've been doing a lot of preview shows on this show, on different podcasts, and I appear on, and whatever. Buffalo's my pick to win the whole thing.
Yeah. So.
Spoiler: when I do my rankings next week for the first rankings, week 1, they're number 1. So, I think right now.
I have a buddy who's a Bills fan. I was like, maybe I can get you into this chat, but I doubt we can do that right now. He says the same thing. Well, I should say. So when we think about it, he's talking about hate how they're the favorites, right? Buffalo all of a sudden is the favorite. Everybody likes Buffalo. Money's flowing in on Buffalo. Let's think about when the spreads came out early. The first spread that came out for this Rams-Bills game, if I'm not mistaken, the Rams were like a point or a half point favorite.
Week 1, right?
It was for week 1. You see where it is now?
Let me check real quick. Open at 1. Now it's Bills 2. It was Rams -1, and now Correct. It's Bills 2.5. I wonder if it's a lot to do. Stafford's injury. I wonder if Stafford injury has a lot to do with that.
The line started moving immediately, and it's just like moving. Now, obviously, I had some. This was funny. I had an incident at Planet Hollywood this year, and then when I went back out, I went to Paris, and this guy was telling me all about the host, basically,
right?
That I wasn't assigned, but I was speaking with. Because I was talking about a little sports betting with him. I brought it up. He's like, well, we try to bring the money each way, and that's why you see the lines move. Okay, well, here's how you're bringing money each way. The Bills have so much money coming in on them that the line has moved 3.5 points. They're on the road facing the Super Bowl champions. Now, I personally will say this. And I'm a Bills fan, so it's obviously I'm a fucking biased Bills fan, if you want to say, right?
Yeah.
I don't I don't see how Buffalo doesn't win that game and cover 9.5.
I mean, what?
It
Why do you
sounds so
think?
crazy.
No, but why do you think it moved though? Do you think it had? I mean, the Stafford injury is the only thing I can really put my hand on, like the issues with
It
his arm, whatever,
it had,
maybe
it had
elbow.
moved it had moved to Buffalo -1, 1.5. Like when everywhere I was going, I was in a lot of sports books, man. I saw it.
It's great.
So
It's weird. I mean, your buddy's saying that I don't like being the favorites, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we kind of seen this story coming. Like I said last year, like when because
I
I picked
missed it.
Buffalo to win it, even after right after that game against Kansas City. I'm like, this is going to be the story. If you watch NFL films, you know the narratives. Like when teams that make it to the top of the promised land, they have a moment where they get their hearts broken, and then the very next year they come back and they do the damn thing. That Kansas City game in the divisional round is that moment. How they lost that game. And I think we could look back into the year or so. I mean, based on my prediction, that when they do the America's team, the 2022 Buffalo Bills Super Bowl championship, the story starts at that that game. Really.
I mean,
So
you've got a good script. I enjoy
I mean,
your
seriously. I
script.
mean,
I
we all
enjoy
like
the
narratives here
script.
in sports.
I enjoy the script. I
Yeah.
promise you that if that happens, that's a make you write that movie up and we'll find people
But
to act. Okay,
we've already been seeing
here
this build in the last couple of years though. We've been seeing this since 2018. They went to the playoffs and this build
here
up little by little. They get Josh Allen and get this build, and they went to the AFC title. People forget they went to the AFC title game 2 years ago.
here's the thing: Buffalo on paper is the best team in football right now.
Without
Okay,
question. Without
Ever
question.
and there are people. I mean, I still have people telling me Patrick Mahomes is better than Josh Allen, and
Okay.
I'm just because he's beaten him or in playoff. It's just not true at this point. Intangibly, I don't care either way. What you watch enough football, you can see that Josh Allen sees the field well. Patrick Mahomes sees the field well. Josh Allen throws the ball well. Patrick Mahomes throws the ball well. One throws it harder and further than the other. One also runs the football and doesn't run out of bounds and runs people over like he's a linebacker. Well, okay, so there's a little bit of a difference in comparison.
Yeah.
We talk about turnovers and this and that. Like Josh Allen wasn't taking chances last year, right? The Bills last year would have won the Super Bowl had they won that game. The Rams, so Bengals fans, I've spoken with Bengals fans too in my journeys. We didn't want Buffalo to win that game. There's no way we're going into Buffalo and winning that game. Like against they have a chance against the Chiefs. They felt that way. They didn't feel that way against Buffalo. Buffalo playing the Super Bowl was in Vegas last year. Am I wrong?
Last year it was in LA.
LA. Okay, I'm sorry. That's right. It was a home game. What am I talking about? I still don't even care. So I had posted a Facebook status on week 8, 9, 10. I don't remember about how there was so much parity in the NFL and how I thought the Rams. I just brought up the Rams randomly. Were overrated. They looked great on paper, but they were still overrated. But at the same time, they could win the Super Bowl. And then proceeded to, I would bet against them every single fucking week. And they're like squeaking shit out or winning game. They were very different to me. So now we're looking at week 1 and it's Buffalo at the Rams. And then Buffalo's like, yeah, Stafford's injury is going to have it. But wouldn't you think if the quarterback was like really hurt, or if they really thought something was wouldn't you think they'd move that to 3 and a hook? Like, do you think a kickoff that's going to be 3 and a hook?
That's what you're saying. I don't know. I the whole point you made about the best quarterback in the league thing. Like I'm still Mahomes. I did a podcast on this over the offseason. I'm still Mahomes, but the gap is closed. The gap is like this now. And my prediction now is this. My prediction is this: by the time we end this year, Josh Allen will be the clear number 1 by the end of this year. That's my prediction.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, and the assessment's fine just because he's beaten him in games. I just don't think like you can look really at what they're doing and like watch, even if you watch tape, which I don't really watch a lot of tape, but like you see like Allen back up, boom, yeah, Mahomes. I want to see Mahomes without Tyreek Hill. I'm not taking anything away
from him
because
man.
because I like Mahomes, but I want to see him without Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like Mahomes has Stephon Diggs, who's a really good route runner, but we're talking yak right now. Kelsey's a catch and run guy too.
Tyreek Hill might be the best yak receiver in the history of the league.
Okay, so like
I mean after Jerry Rice, maybe, but that's about it.
It makes it hard for me to look at those two quarterbacks and put a guy who has two of the best. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Kelsey is one of the better yak tight ends that's out there.
Correct.
Am I wrong about that? I don't. So now you've got two guys. Now you still have Kelsey, but you've lost Tyreek. So just let me see what happens. Let's hope both stay healthy, and we get to witness another exciting year and see.
I've already said that. The Chiefs take a step back this year. Now the question is going to be how big a step back is going to be. I think it'll be maybe 1 or 2 games. I think they'll be close to 11-6. It wouldn't surprise me to 10-7. You also have the situation where it's also the environment of the AFC as well being so good on paper. That AFC West is far and away the best division in football right now. So all those elements we're saying there is why KC, I think, will take a step back a little bit. Now, the question is going to be how far back. I think they're still a playoff team. I don't know if you saw my predictions. I picked the Raiders to win the division. I have the Chiefs as a wild card.
I'm just thinking because that entire division is going to absolutely beat up on each other, man.
Cannibalize each other.
Right? So it reminds me of the old NFC East days.
Yes.
But those days were won in the trenches. These games are going to be won in the 30s.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
So, and you know what? Like, and I was thinking about other teams that are like AFC teams, like the Denver Broncos. When you lose a receiver like they did, I just thought Russell Wilson was such a good fit there in their defenses. I still think they're sneaky good.
The Broncos?
I still think the Broncos
of course.
are sneaky
they're a 10-win team. My question, my concern.
Are they still?
My concern is the back end of the schedule. The last 8 games are pretty fucking brutal. So if they're going to be a playoff team, they got to win some games out the gate. They got to go no worse than 6-2 out the gate to feel like comfortable that okay, we can probably make the playoffs, win 4 or 5 more games on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Russell Wilson guy myself.
Oh, I'm a fanatic, so you know me.
Yeah, I'm a Russell Wilson. I just think it's like, hey, this dude is he's in the right place now.
Mm-hmm.
But he lost a pretty important piece to his offense. Like he wants his receivers.
You mean Metcalf?
No. What's his face just went down in Denver for the year? Was it Hammer? Was it?
No, not Judy. Judy's back, right? Judy's
no,
back, right?
he's got his main pieces. Just those role guys like. I'll just go to Buffalo, like Isaiah McKenzie, who can potentially have a huge fucking year. They've just, they've got these guys that it's just like, all right, well, this guy's got potential. This guy's got potential. This guy's got potential. So you're just kind of sitting there and just waiting for things to kind of happen.
Of course, yeah.
And the NFL things are going to play out themselves. Like I had a conversation. I was lucky enough to have a couple minutes of a conversation with Richard Seymour, and he's got the Chargers winning that division.
So you made a comment about the Bills being the best roster in football, and I would argue that the only pushback I'll give you is that the only team I think that is probably on both sides of the ball just as good, if not, we'll see, maybe a little less, is the Chargers. But the reason I don't have the Chargers in the playoffs this year is I don't trust that coach. I just don't.
Wait a minute. All right. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this, by the way. All right. So you don't have the Chargers in the playoffs?
No. You want to hear my rundown? So here are my playoff division winners: Bills in the East, Bengals in the North, Colts in the South, Raiders in the West. My wild cards 5-7 got Ravens, Chiefs, and Dolphins.
All right, so
two bus here I got Dolphins win number 7 seed.
I forgot about the whole people. I'm sorry for all of you South Florida folks and the Tua stuff, and I've got all the weapons in the world now. here's the reality about Tua and the Dolphins. All right,
You not Tua guy?
and that's
Not Tua guy.
no. I love Tua. When Tua's at Alabama, I love Tua. Okay, Tua hurt his fucking hip.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson, his career ended because of a hip. Okay, this is another thing I brought up in front of an NFL Hall of Famer. I won't go into his comments because whatever, but they were very brief. But this is my thing. He has Tyreek Hill now, so he's got to him on these crossing routes. So they're gonna do. But if Tua's got to throw the ball 12, 15 yards down the field, so you better have a lead because Tua trying to bring you back is not happening. He doesn't have the arm strength that he's supposed to have, that he used to have. Tua would have been an absolute superstar in the NFL. Tua is down not just a step; he's down a couple steps, and I don't think he throws the ball well enough. I don't think he moves out of the pocket well enough. I think he's going to fumble the ball in the pocket quite a few times this year.
Right.
If he proves me wrong, here I am, fucking bad takes exposed. I'm an idiot. I think the Dolphins are going to underwhelm many people. And this could, like I said, this could be an awful take. I could be completely wrong. I think defensively, that's how they're gonna be able to win games more than offensively. I think when they have the lead, they're going to be dangerous and tough to beat. But I think if they ever have to climb any sort of a hill, that they're going to lose football games. It's also the reason where me. I think Lamar Jackson's like one of the best athletes on the planet. I don't think Lamar Jackson's a very good quarterback. I think he's won an MVP. Okay. He's won an MVP. Did he do that a lot in the air? Really? Yeah, we can look at his numbers. What was he doing?
He was also.
Was he throwing 6 yarders to Mark Andrews? That's
he also had no weapons either though. That team is built literally around him. Like there's
why does he not? Why not? Why not? Tell me why he doesn't have any weapons. Who fucking signs there?
The best receiver is Mark Andrews.
But nobody fucking signs there. They can't get anybody to sign with him. Why is it that when there's a receiver out there and Baltimore's got fucking money, why is it that nobody goes there? Why doesn't anybody? Why does Kenny Galladay pick the fucking Giants?
He was terrible last year for us. That's the record.
He was, but you know what? I actually think he has a bounce back here. But why does he do that? I don't. They don't want Lamar Jackson throwing him the football. They're not going to be in the spotlight or whatever.
That's the interesting point.
Just think about it. It's like Marquise Brown is your big guy. Well, is he in Arizona now? Where did he go?
No, yeah, Arizona. You're right.
Okay, yeah. So it's just like everybody, Lamar. Yeah, dude, the guy fucking gets out of the pocket, whatever. He finds guys. Who are his guns? Sammy Watkins showed up for a little while, but he never even did shit. Nobody fucking signed. They got all the money in the world. Nobody signs there. You can't tell me they're not looking for a wide receiver every offseason, man. Like, it's like, oh,
dude. You're saying it's because no one wants to play Lamar because they don't think they get the ball enough.
It's either they don't get the ball enough, they don't trust the ball when it's coming to them. Like, maybe he's not the most accurate quarterback, but I do think like spotlight does play into it, especially with bigger name receivers. People talk Lamar. Lamar is a reason Baltimore is what they are. They don't have that defense they used to. Watch their defense get exposed. Watch them have to win a high-scoring game against the Jets in Week 1.
Look, never mind. I get
Flacco was playing, but you know what I'm trying to get at.
It's not sexy. I get it's not sexy. I get it. Lamar's style's not sexy, but this is what I know. Last year, even with all the injuries coming to the year and throughout the first 2-3 quarters of the year, the Ravens were 8-3. Lamar Jackson was the MVP front runner at 8-3. He gets hurt, that team falls apart. The end.
I mean, that's fair. I'm not gonna argue that with you.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, okay, he's winning games as a quarterback. He hadn't won the big game, then he wins one big game or two big games or whatever. The bottom line is, like, from the quarterback position, he's just not. He doesn't throw the ball. Like, he doesn't drop back and throw the. He's just different.
Yeah, it's not traditional. I get it. It's not
He doesn't.
traditional.
It's very different. And how
Yeah.
long is it going to work for? Because how long can you be that elusive? I'm willing. I'm not. I'm not willing. I'm wondering how long he's going to be that elusive in and out. So when you talk about them, I think you can slide them like to 8. You need to bump the Chargers winning the division, take the Raiders, put them in the wild card, and bump the Dolphins.
So you take
back
so
out.
based on my list, take out Miami, take out Baltimore, bring up the Raiders, bring up the Chargers.
Take out Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're taking out Miami. Baltimore's taking up the last seed. Okay.
Okay.
The Raiders are a wild card, and the Chargers, who you didn't have in, I can do this, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Chargers, who you didn't have in, winning that division.
So Casey's out this year. That's okay.
That's why I said, can I do that? I'm trying to make because if that's the case, then
remember,
how are we supposed to do that? Because all 4 teams can't make it a bit. Can't make it.
No, yes, they can. Yes, they can. They can. But if all 4 teams go into the playoffs in one division,
no. So Casey, I just don't know if Casey's out. Then I'm moving Baltimore out. Like, I'm sorry, man. I just don't see.
It's okay.
I don't.
It's complicated.
See Miami,
I get it.
I don't see Miami. What kind of schedule is Miami playing? I need to look more into that. But I'm also just not like, I don't think you can tell me you got all the weapons in the world, but you better run the football and play defense, and which Miami does or has done. But Tua's not going to win you football games like.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Until quarterbacks are.
Run down your 7 teams in the playoffs, division winners, wild cards. Go. Bills in the East. We know that already. Next. I'll help you out with that one. AFC North. Who was division? Bengals?
The Bengals on. I mean, the Bengals on paper, but like, is Joe Burrow like going to play the first 2-3 weeks? Is he going to be okay with his appendix? Okay.
Yeah, they'll be okay. AFC South.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard there because I'm just wondering about like where Tennessee is like offensively, and if they're just going to be so run happy, and it's just. I think
I'll tell you right now, I'm out of Tennessee Titans. They take a major step back this year. That's where I'm at.
Did you say you have Indianapolis?
Yes, correct. I'm at Ryan, Matty Ice.
I mean, that's a toss up, dude. And I'm taking Derrick Henry.
If you're telling me Derrick Henry is healthy all year long, I may roll with you on that one. But I don't think he's healthy all year.
What if I tell you Derrick Henry misses four games?
They're fucked.
They're fucked?
Yeah.
What do we have in that backfield? I need their depth. That I understand. So that's what I worry about. Is it just going to be a Derrick Henry show?
Yeah, I know they did well last year without him. Yeah, but I don't see that playing out twice. Like I don't see that playing out twice. So you have the Colts. Did you say the Colts?
No, I just think the Titans.
Okay.
I think the Titans are the winner, man.
Okay, I see that. Okay, and in the West, okay, this is your prediction. And then in the West, what you got?
I have the Chargers.
Okay, and then you 3 wild cards. If you want to go in order, go in order. Up to you. Nobody in the East, right? No Miami's, no New England.
I don't have that. So I'm gonna go with my first wild card, being. I don't want to even say that though.
The Chiefs.
It's no because I think the Raiders are your first wild card.
Okay, I like that.
And then I think it's the Chiefs.
And then who's the third?
Then we're between the
Ravens, the Broncos,
even the Steelers. But like, I know that sounds crazy, but like the Steelers,
No,
always
that's not
seem
crazy
to
at
be
all.
weirdly in the mix.
Mike Tomlin's the man, dude.
You can probably it's so wild with the parity and not being able to like predict the future as who's going to get injured. But if
Right.
like I think Baltimore is a problem too. I think them missing the playoffs is more likely this year because I think health is a concern with Lamar Jackson if he's going to run the ball as much
Of
as he
course.
does.
Of course.
Okay. And I think you're going to see a battle for that last spot between Miami and Denver, and Denver's going to go.
Okay. So Russell Wilson, flies
Yeah.
high. Okay. So now give me NFC. I'm gonna say my NFC rundown. This is gonna shock you. My NFC rundown.
We can go division together.
I'm doing it right now. NFC East. I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I mean, you know what? I don't fucking like the Eagles, but they're.
Neither do I. I can't stand them.
I think they're good. I'm just wondering, like, when is it Dak's year, and like, are they gonna run the ball with somebody else? Like, is he gonna be a force?
But they've been doing the committee thing last year with the Pollock?
Yeah, Pollard, Tony Pollard,
right,
yeah.
right. And Zeke last year.
I think on paper you're just looking at the Eagles, but my prediction's fucking Cowboys.
Okay, to me it's Eagles, but it's come down to the wire.
I just think whoever doesn't win the division is by a game and they're the first wild card. So
right, exactly. That's what I got too. All right, the North, I have the Packers.
I do too.
But I think the Vikings have a chance also to steal that division. I think Packers take a little step back this year too. Obviously in the South, the Bucks. Even when the Bucks take a step back this year, that's arguably the worst division of football, in my opinion. Arguably.
Who are they going to lose it to? So like just
go ahead. The Panthers, the Saints, and the Falcons.
I don't even. I wonder. They must be like minus like 500, 700. No, maybe more than that, right?
Yeah. Plus the Bucks, obviously.
I don't fucking know, dude.
But
yeah, that's a W. So
that's
then
you're the West is the Rams for me.
I like the Niners.
Okay, I'm interested to see how Trey Lance does, and
I'm interested to see when we're done this next year what this looks like.
Oh, of course,
or at the end of the year.
I always review this at the end of the year. I always review.
Oh, you fucking idiot!
Yep. So my wild cards, I'm gonna give my 3 real quick in order, okay, and then you go your 3 after. My 5 seed is the Cowboys. My 6 seed is the Vikings. And here's my shocking pick of the year. My hot take of the year I've been saying for the last month or so. My 7th seed is the Washington Commanders. So yes, I have 3 teams in the NFC. I have 3 teams in the NFC East going to the playoffs this year. Book it.
So I mean, that is like. I mean, I like your first 2. So I'm sorry. So I'm just going Eagles, Vikings.
Eagles, Vikings, okay.
Yeah, and then I'm just trying to think in the rest of the NFC because it's just such a crapshoot over there.
You didn't say the Rams though.
Never mind. Yeah, so I'm sorry. So I'm changing my order.
Rams.
I'm gonna put them at 6. I'm still gonna put the Eagles to just based on schedule. I think just based on scheduling, that's where I'm gonna go.
Okay.
But I have to make sure. I mean, the Rams are playing a difficult schedule. Obviously, they're opening against the Bills, but they're going to be playing all the first place teams, and then whatever it may be. The Eagles were a wild card team last year, correct? Yeah.
Eagles were a wild card team. Yeah, they're number 7 seed.
Yeah. And so and they're going to be playing some of the lower. You know, you play where they finish, right? One of the scenarios.
Yeah, they play. 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. 1.
Correct. So, no. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the regular season the following year, right? So when you look at who teams are playing, just look at what they finished the last year. So when you're playing you're playing that random interdivision game, right? That's not, whatever. That's going to be against. That's why the Bills are playing the Chiefs all the time and the Titans all the time, every fucking year. That's what's going on. So. That's why I have those 2 teams swapped like that.
It's your marquee TV games, of course.
Correct. That's correct.
So,
yeah. So
Anything else
that's
we left on docket? Anything else we left?
nothing, man. I mean, I've I got my journeys and my Mets and my Bills.
Yeah, the Bills are winning the Super Bowl this year. Are you there?
I mean, dude, yeah, as a Bills fan, of course, let's fucking go Bills Mafia all day. Like we're winning.
I was,
Buffalo goes as far as Josh Allen goes, and then they have to just not make a fucking bonehead mistake
yeah,
or have a call go against them or miss a field goal. Like just like can it be the year? Can it be the year that the fucking Mets win the World Series and the Bills win the Super Bowl? And I am like, all right, I'm gonna be 40 next year, bro. Let's fucking do it. Okay.
I'm being honest with you. I was saying to myself a couple weeks ago that I would be okay this year with the Mets. If God said you pick one team right now to win a championship, all your favorite teams: Heat, Giants, Rangers, or Mets. I'm gonna go Mets 1 year because even though I was alive for '86, I have not still been able to see a Mets World Series as at least a teenager. I've seen 3 Giant Super Bowls as a child when I was old enough to experience it, and then 2 adults. I've seen 3 Heat championships in the last 15 years. I remember the Rangers 1994 Stanley Cup. I did not experience the Mets '86 as at least a grown child. Like I remember '86 a little bit, but I was 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? I was 6 years old. I have not experienced that yet.
I was 3. Um, there's not even a. It's not even a fucking. I mean, it's close. It's the Mets, the Mets and the Bills. Really, like
Right.
my feelings on the NBA.
I know.
I won't speak about that on your podcast. I'm not an NBA guy. I'm a college
one
basketball
day
guy.
I'll bring it. One day it's getting good, man. You're missing some good stuff, man. The league's in a
Listen,
good place right now.
I think that those guys are extremely talented.
Yeah.
I've got a few problems. One of them, the main one being, is we got guys that are making a lot of money that
Hmm.
need like 12 rest games a year. Give me a
Yeah.
fucking break. You play 82
Yeah,
games.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we all agree with that. Even the diehard fans that will agree with that. Like, they need to curb that shit up.
That bothers me, and I think there's no emphasis on any sort of travel and defenses. Just it's not there until the playoffs and most of the end, like the championship series and stuff. That's my issue.
Right.
If you're gonna ask me what are you gonna watch, I'm gonna be like I'm gonna watch a college basketball game right now over that game. I'm sorry, that's where I
Right.
am at. But I mean, everybody's got their preference, so that's what it is. Should I plug not to ever stay at Planet Hollywood or what? Just kidding.
So it was.
Sorry, Planet Hollywood. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Anyway.
I didn't have good. But yeah, so that's basically where I'm at with the Mets and the Bills right now. I don't think
Mhm.
there's really much we didn't talk about.
That's about it, pretty
Um,
much. Uh, you want to plug your Twitter and stuff? I mean, I can do it for you. I mean,
yeah,
it's
you can.
Cliffy CLGM, obviously.
Yeah, it's at Cliffy Siege
We,
LGM. That's
yep.
correct.
Obviously, big Bills fan, Mets fan, of course. He tweets all that all the time on my timeline.
Well, yeah,
That's
no.
good stuff.
It's a if you follow me, you follow me. If you don't, whatever. I mean, I have like 1,000 followers. It's not a large following, but I live tweet. That's what I do. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Bills
I'm the same
games
way.
not as much because I've got so much daily fantasy going on. So I've got a Bills game going on one screen. I've got the red zone going on another screen.
Yeah, of
I
course.
don't live tweet as much. My Twitter is basically Mets Twitter, but I do tweet about the Bills, and obviously I tweet about poker. If I'm making some sort of a deep run, which
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. So
When you put another big event?
dude, I with everything that's happened up and down and sideways and all that,
Hmm.
I don't have an answer to that.
Okay.
Things right now are really on the fence on what I'm doing next.
Okay.
I would like to. We're in August, right? We're going to be in
Well,
September tomorrow, correct?
in an hour and a half of this
Yeah, now we're not
podcast.
exactly. So,
But as pod goes up, will be in September actually,
the
technically. So
next Cherokee series, I'll likely find my way down there, so to speak, and I say that for different reasons. Either way,
yeah, yeah.
for not just different reasons, but not different reasons, I should say, but for reasons where Cherokee's a tough stop to
Hmm.
miss.
Right.
I also just missed a series in Tampa. I don't think I think the next series that I possibly can play will be whatever the next series is in South Florida at the Hard Rock. That'll be the next
Hmm.
place that I go. It's too bad you guys don't run anything. I would
Yeah.
love to do
We're
something like
doing multis now. At our place, we're doing multis every month now. It's great turnouts. 3 day
that.
ones, day two on Sunday
What's
stream,
what is
all
that
streaming.
is that a 50K guarantee or
No, it's
something?
a 100K guarantee. 100K guarantee, $300 buy-in.
Interesting. So, what kind of
Yeah.
starting stack though? Is it really
I
structured
think
by
it's I think I think it's 40K. I think it's 40K.
40K?
I think it's 40. I think it's 40.
How long are your blind levels? 20 or
30.
30 minutes? Okay,
30.
30 minutes. And those, okay, all right. So I mean, that's something that if I were down there, I would play.
And we're streaming it too. We stream feature table on 3 days a week, which
I've watched my
I'm
buddy.
on a lot.
I've watched my buddy. I've seen you.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do the final table on Sunday. It's
Yeah.
pretty good stuff, man. Really good stuff. I'm on there as well too.
I mean, I can see that it's getting better. I'd love to get back down there.
Yeah.
Right at the moment, it's just going to be a little while. The same thing. At the same time, things could change. At the
Right.
literally in a heartbeat for me. So, at this point, we're just going to try to move along. The next tournament will be the next tournament. Right now,
Right.
I'm not sure. I had a nice little run. I had some ups and downs in poker. It's gambling.
Of course.
Anyhow, this is where we're at now. So I've had a good time, man. And we went a little longer than normal, or
It's okay.
I shouldn't say normal than you expected, but
That's okay. I know I wanted to go 30 to 40 minutes, but sometimes it doesn't act that way. Sometimes you get into conversation and get some good topics in there, and then it is what it is, man. If you don't have to talk, you don't have to talk. It is what it is. Podcasting is that's what podcasting is.
I hear you, brother.
So great
Well,
job, buddy.
I appreciate you having me. It's always a
Of
pleasure,
course.
and we'll definitely have some people that'll watch this that will hear.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't wait.
we could have gotten into some other topics, but we're
Say,
good where we're at.
save some meat in the bone because it won't be the last time on the podcast. We'll have you on again, of course.
I'm here. I'm here whenever. If you want to talk, you just give me a
Yeah,
shout. We can talk.
absolutely.
And